So under device and then services, and then click on the little cogwheel. Let's see. So the first one's going to be our DNS. I am personally just going to use Cloudflare and Google. And then under NTP, you can just Google search this, but I'm just going to use these two here because I'm in the US. Click on OK. And interfaces, click on management. This is where you can also see some information on that management interface on what's allowed, what isn't. You can configure the IPv4, you can configure the IPv6. Click on cancel. So we are going to head over to network. And the first thing we're going to do is set up our management profiles. So interface management, under the network profiles, it's going to be blank. Click on add. And then this very first one, I'm just going to call ping underscore MGMT, or management. So I'm just going to select network services ping, click on OK. And then add again. This one's going to be called Web UI SSH ping management. So Web UI is HTTPS, SSH is, well, SSH, and then ping is ping. Click on OK. We're done there. I'm going to go ahead and commit the changes, just so number one, you can see the commit. Number two, so we can save those settings that we've configured so far. This progress is going to sit at 0 to 5% for the first little bit, and then eventually it will jump up to 98 or 99%, and then eventually finish. I will be back whenever that finishes. Once it's done, you should see a configuration committed successfully. If you don't, you should see some errors on this bottom section here. But mine was successful, so let's continue on. Let's head over to zones. We're going to create 3 zones. So I'm going to click on add. I'm going to call this first one internet. And then under log settings, none, type. You can do the drop down, click on layer 3. That's all you need to do. Click on OK. Back to add. The second interface, zone that we're going to make is going to be the inside network. Instead of the drop down, you can also just start typing whatever, if you know exactly what you're looking for. And then I'm going to click on layer 3. All right. Add for our last interface of, dang it, not interface, zone of DMZ. And same thing of layer 3. Okay. And then that should be it for our zones. I'm going to head over to our interfaces. Let's see. So I'm going to start with our interface 1.1. These are typically going to line up with the order that you have or have added the network interfaces on the Proxmox side of things. So this is our management. It doesn't have an interface really. So this is net 1 is going to be our Ethernet 1.1, net 2 is 1.2, net 3 is 1.3. So Ethernet 1.1, this is going to be our internet. Internet face type is going to be layer 3. Virtual router, I'm going to add this to our default virtual router. And security zone, I'm going to add this as our internet zone that we just created. Then I'm going to head over to IPv4. I am going to click on add and then 192. This is our internet facing. So this is the VMBR0 interface, which is on your home network. So select an IP address that is available. So I'm going to select 10.20.30.251/24. So just click anywhere outside of the text edit box, or you can hit tab, click on OK. Then we're going to go over to our Ethernet 1.2. Same thing, so comment, this is going to be our inside network. Interface type of layer 3. Virtual router of default. Security zone of inside this time. IPv4. And if you forget, this is also why I like having the comment. So if I go to Proxmox 2 network, our inside network is going to be that 192.168 IP address. So 192.168.99.1/24. I'm going to tab out, click on OK. And then finally for 1.3, this is going to be our DMZ. DMZ. Interface type 3. Virtual router default, security zone, DMZ, IPv4. And then this is going to be that 172.16.99.1 IP address. Click on OK. Then let's head over to our DHCP configuration real quick. This is going to be empty as well. So I'm going to click on Add. I'm going to select the interface that I want the DHCP to be applied to. So I'm not going to apply it to my home network, which is the 1.1. I am going to apply it to the inside network, so the network that's behind the Palo Alto. So that inside network is 192.168.990/24. And then under options, I'm going to specify the IP address that we designated in that last step. So 192.168.99.1. That is the gateway for that interface. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0, and then primary DNS for that network 1.1.1.1 for Cloudflare, 8.8.8.8 for Google, and we should be good to go. I'm going to click on OK. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up that DHCP for our DMZ as well. And then add 172.16.99.1. I'm sorry, 0/24, my mistake. And then over to options. This is where 172.16.99.1 is specified. 0, 1, 8, interface, sorry. Ethernet 1.3, because that's our DMZ interface. And we now have our DHCP configured. And if we go over to virtual routers, you should see the default, and it should have all of the interfaces that we specified previously, but go ahead and click into it. We have one other configuration to do. Under static routes, it's going to be empty, or it should be empty at first. Click on add. We're going to call it egress. Destination of 0.0.0.0/0, so basically anywhere. We are going to be NATing out of our internet interface, so Ethernet 1.1. Next hop is telling that interface where to go next to be able to route out to the internet. So I am going to select my home network router, so 10.20.30.1, or my home gateway. That should be okay. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and commit changes. Again, just want to save our progress, and just in case we lose power, in case basically anything goes wrong. All right, after that commit is done, we're going to head over to our policies section. These are your default policies. Just basically leave those alone. I'm going to click on add. We're just going to do a basic policy just to get you up and running, and then you can expand and create your own policies later. So I'm going to call this inside to internet, or outside, whatever you want to name it. I'm I'm going to go to source zone. We're going to click on add inside. Go over to destination zone, add internet, and then go over to actions and make sure that the action is set to allow and that you have the checkbox for log at session end checked. That way we can see the logs of this policy. Click on OK. And then now we're going to click on the NAT policy. So we are going to click on add. Name, I'm just going to call this internet NAT. Original packet. Under source zone, I'm going to click on add. I'm going to go ahead and add both the DMZ and I'm going to go ahead and add the inside. The destination zone is going to be pointing to the internet zone, and then the destination interface is going to be that internet interface, so Ethernet 1.1. Go under translated packet, translation type, we're going to do dynamic IP and port. Address type, we're actually going to change it over to interface address. Interface of our internet facing interface, so Ethernet 1.1. IP address, it should pre-populate with what we specified in the previous step. Click on OK. And then one more commit, and we are almost there to just show that we have it configured. Now that that commit is done, if we head back over to our Proxmox, and if you already have one, awesome. If you don't, spin up or create another virtual machine with Linux is just the easiest for me. Select it, go over to hardware, and if it's on a different bridge, go ahead and select our inside network. It doesn't matter of anything else, just that it's on this bridge network of the inside network that we created earlier. Click on OK. Go ahead and get into the console of that machine. Open up the terminal for Linux or for Windows, a little bit different steps, but IPA for showing interfaces. You can see that it got a 192, so I'm going to do sudo dhclient-v just to make sure that that is a current one. It renewed. We do a route-in. It has the 99.1 as the gateway, so I should be able to ping Cloudflare, and I should also be able to get out to the internet. And I can. YouTube.com. So sorry if this was super quick and super dirty, but I just wanted to get a video out there to help out anybody else also trying to spin up a Palo Alto in Proxmox. Thanks. Bye.